conjunction, which means all the, most of them reflect contrast. So they are used to make contrast statements. So we have the, all the, when, relative pronoun, while, what else? If, even, if, etc. Coordinated conjunction is very easy. We have for and but, so and yet. So coordinated conjunction we have and, so, for, and yes. And but. Right. So we use these conjunctions in order to connect dependent and independent clause, which leads us to the next step. In writing a paragraph, you need to set a punctuation mark. Some of them are used carefully based on the situation or based on the sentence structure. So, for example, we have a comma, we have colon, we have semicolon, etc. So they are used to combine sentences or just to make the sentence or to make the paragraph understood and to convey the meaning by the reader. Understood? So we are going to address the next element, which has to deal with the punctuations. Punctuation marks we have a comma. Comma is a British English, comma is American English. Of course, in the way of pronunciation. Well, we have a comma. What else? We have a semicolon. We have a colon, etc. So there are plenty of punctuation marks. So I will just give you an example to clarify when to use a semicolon and when to use a comma and etc. I will give you sentences so that you can understand. The first thing is we start with a comma. So comma, for example, comma is used when we have two sentences that are considered as an additional idea. So the first one you finish with it, so you are going to give another idea but is in addition. So you put a comma and then you put and, which is a conjunction, coordinating conjunction. For example, I have said my what? My holiday trip. All right? And then you put a comma and others have just follow my lead or follow my actions. Just an invented sentences. So here and is an additional which may reflects as an introductory idea. So here you are adding an information to this sentence. So you can put a comma before and. A comma is used repeatedly when we have a list. When you organize a list of items such as foods, such as clothes, or any other items, here you should comma, 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 and then when you want to mention the last item, put comma before and then you finish with the last item. For example, here in listing, comma, in listing, in the listing, for example, you bought, right? You bought, for example, pajamas, comma, for example, aubergine, courgette, etc. And when you finish, you put a comma and at end. When you want to mention the last item, this is how the punctuation marks should be interpreted. This is about the punctuation. Now we move to the semicolon. Semicolon is different. It has to deal with the dependent and independent clause, right? In particular, it's connected with the independent clause. So now we are going to address semicolon. Semicolon, if you have two independent clauses in one paragraph, you want to connect between them, just put the semicolon. Put the semicolon, and then you put the subordinating conjunction or any other conjunctions, for example, however. So here, independent clause, and here dependent clause. Independent clause. However, here, if we use, for example, nonetheless, nevertheless, and all other or any other conjunctions, you need to use them carefully with the punctuations. So, however, when we want to put a comma after however, means what? Means you are going to introduce an idea. When you want to introduce an idea. But if we don't make a comma here, we are referring to what? Contrast ideas. If we don't put the comma after however, here you are functioning the contrast situation like but. So however means but in this situation. But when you introduce a sentence here, you are making what? Making an additional idea, but it's different, or is when you compare it with the first idea, it cannot be equally absorbed. So, right? So the first one is not like the first, the second sentence or the second part of your sentence cannot be the same when we use however. All right? Between the first sentence and the second sentence, when you put however between them. So here you are making contrast. Right. The last one has to do with the colon. Colon here means when you want to explain about something, for example, and then you put colon. When you want to give, for example, an alternative explanation, you can put colon. That was all. So this is about the most vital part, an important part or important elements you need to integrate within your writing section. So I'm going to stop here, and I will address the rest of elements such as the discourse markers and linkers and how to use them conveniently. Thank you very much for your kind consideration, and see you for the upcoming videos.